everybody, welcome to Shelf Control. I'm Lisa.
I'm Norm.
And today we're talking about hummus.
Haggis.
Haggis.
So, this is our camping edition of Shelf Control, and we only had 2 games left from our random 8 reviews that we were doing. We had Haggis or Thunderstone Quest, and I decided Haggis was the right size to bring along, and so we're going to talk about Haggis.
So excuse any outside noises you may hear. We are camping at a campground on vacation, so we're surrounded by other campers, so excuse any outside noises.
So, Haggis is I think they call it a ladder climbing game rather than a trick-taking game, although it plays somewhat similar. And it plays for 2 to 3 players, and this is the first edition that we have. I don't think there's many changes in the second edition other than they have some bidding tokens for when you're making the bets.
So in Haggis, you're going to be dealt a Jack, Queen, King to start. They are your wilds, and they just stay out in front of you.
They're double-sided, so they don't get mixed up with the regular deck, which has a fancy back on it. So if you're ever shuffling the deck and you see one of these in there, it's pretty easy to take it out.
So in a 2-player game, you're going to be dealt 14 cards. And
so before that, you want to remove 1 suit of the cards that's included for a 3-player game.
so there's 5 suits total. If you're playing 3-player, you'll use all 5 suits. Otherwise, you'll take one out, and 2 players, you will play with 4 suits. So again, on 2-player, you're going to be dealt 14 cards, and the cards that are left over, you're just going to put into a stack off to the side. You will use those later.
Like a regular deck of cards, each suit is numbered 2 through 10, except you've only got the 1 Jack, Queen, King.
There's no ace, no 1.
And unlike a regular deck of cards, all the odd numbers have a victory point value up in the top corner. All the odds are worth 1 point.
Your Jack is worth 2 points, your Queen is worth 3, and your King is worth 5.
So you could totally play this game with a regular deck of cards, just remembering the values of the Jack, Queen, King, and that odds are worth 1 point. But you'd only have the four suits, so you couldn't play a 3-player game with a regular deck of cards.
Right.
So I believe I have a vague memory of playing a card game with some friends at the local gaming store when after a Magic tournament or something, they broke out a game that was kind of like this, and I believe they called it Jackass or something like that. But it was played similar to this, and so I think maybe the bombs are what set this apart from the game that I played. But maybe it's the exact same game, and they just printed a version of the game.
So in the game, it's kind of like a trick-taking game. So you're gonna, whoever goes first is going to lay down what they want to start with, and it can be pairs, it can be 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, something like that. It can be, they call it different things. So for your,
you have a set,
which is just your similar numbers, just of different suits.
They can do a pair of 3s, 3 3s, 4 3s. If you're playing 3 players, it's possible to have 5 3s.
And then you have your sequences, and that's kind of like your runs, your 7, 8, 9. It can be anywhere from 3 cards to higher, as many as you can go in sequence order, and they have to be of the same suit. So you can also do, a sequence is also considered a run of 2 pairs. So you can play 2 7s and 2 8s. Now the 7 and 8 have to be of the same run, or the same suit, and then the other 7 and 8 have to be of the same suit.
So you could play a 3-4 in this gold and a 3-4 in this green, and that would count as a sequence of 2 pairs. You couldn't have two pairs that are different, not sequential numbers, and do this. And so then once whoever leads puts out a set or a sequence, the other players in turn order have the opportunity to play that same style but of a higher value. So if I did the 3-4-3-4 in these two colors,
I would have to do either a 4-5, 4-5, or higher.
Or higher. And then the next person would get to go higher, and you just keep climbing the ladder following that leading pattern until everyone passes, and whoever played the last one gets to take all those cards. And the winner is the person who empties their hand first. So
if he won that round, he would start the next round.
Then I would get the lead with whatever I choose from my cards to be whatever the pattern is that everyone needs to follow.
And if there's an opportunity that I cannot follow that pattern, I can do a couple things. If I'm missing, let's say, one particular number, I can use one of my wild cards, my Jack, Queen, or King. They can be used as Jack, Kings, and Queens, or you can use it as a wild to be anything.
As long as it's lower than its value. You can't play the Jack as a King.
Or a Queen.
Or a Queen, but you can play it as a Jack.
Or lower.
Lower.
Yep. And same thing with the Queen and King. They can only play their value and lower.
And so that can help. If someone's played three of a kind and you only have a pair, you could throw one of your wilds into the mix to make the three of a kind.
Now, if I can't match what he has started with, I can bomb it. And bombing works a little bit uniquely in that if I bomb it, the round's immediately over. He gets all of the cards.
I think a bigger bomb can be played.
Oh, okay. So if I play a bomb, he has to play a bomb higher than mine. If he cannot, I win that round, but he gets all the cards that were played out. So there's a chance that he could get quite a few cards or points in that play. But I get to start the next round. So it's kind of strategic in that you want to, if you know you can win by playing your cards, you just need to be able to play first. You'd want to do a bomb. He gets all the cards that were played that previous round, but you get to start the new one.
Yeah, so I would get the points, but she gets to work at playing what's necessary to empty her hand out. In this game, having control over what the pattern that everyone has to follow is pretty big. The bombs,
it's hot camping.
The bombs go in. Yeah, well, let's
look at that one. So you can do the odd numbers, 3, 5, 7, and 9. They all have to be of different suits. So that's your lowest bomb. Your next bomb would be a Jack Queen. So if you throw those out, that's a bomb. Your next one would be a Jack King, a Queen King, and then a Jack Queen King. The highest bomb is your odd numbers of the same suit. So 3, 5, 7, and 9 of the same suit. That's the highest bomb you can drop. Your opponent cannot play anything higher than that. So if that's what you play, you've ended that round.
And so when you're playing the bomb, like she said, your opponent gets the cards of the trick. So depending on what you throw out, if you're putting out the 3, 5, 7, 9, all the odds are worth 1 point. So you know you're giving at least 4 points to your opponent plus whatever else is there. Yeah. And if you're doing the Jack, Queen, King bomb, well then that's 10 points.
10 points you've just given them.
But it's getting those cards out of your hand to try and win that round that you're playing. Because if you can empty your hand, you score based on the number of cards that are remaining in your opponent's hand. You get 5 points for each card that they're holding, whether it's odd or a face card. And you add up all the points that you have in your pile. And you can also, before the round, when you get dealt your 14 cards, look at them and make a bet as to whether or not you think you can get your hand empty first. Mm-hmm. And you bet either 0 points, 15 points or 30 points. So you got the no bet, little bet, big bet. And if you make that bet, if you succeed, then you'll get that 15 or 30 points. If you fail, your opponent gets those 15 or 30 points.
Yeah. So if on the time you're playing you both bet 30 that each of you are going to go out first, somebody's getting negative 30 points and somebody's getting 60 points.
Somebody's getting 60.
So that's huge in
Plus
a game.
Whatever they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you're betting well, a majority of your points are going to be coming from that
right.
bet. If you're betting 30 every time, it's very rare that you're getting much over 20
right.
in your pile there. And so that's where a lot of the strategy really comes in. It's like, am I going to do the big bet? Am I going to do a small bet, or am I not going to bet at all? And that's where the value of playing the bombs comes in as well. It's like, yeah, I might be giving you 5 to 10 points by bombing it, but I have to do that
because I can go out with what's in my hand.
Try to empty my hand.
I just need to lead the next round.
Because I might have a bunch of cards in my hand, and Lisa might have 3 cards left, but it's like, I've got a 4 of a kind, so I can play that out knowing that she can't follow it. So I get that, and then it's like, okay, well, hopefully her 3 cards aren't a 3 of a kind, so I can play my 3 of a kind, and then all of a sudden I play out my 1 card and it stops immediately.
Yep. For a 2-player, the first person to empty their hand, it stops immediately. The next player does not get to play a card to counter that. So whatever that person, when that final card is laid, the other person has to hold their cards. However many cards they have left is 5 points each for the winner. And then, of course, they get to take that stack. What's the stack called? The Haggis.
The Haggis.
The Haggis stack.
Yeah,
so they get to take the Haggis.
I think it's 8 cards in a 2-player game that are face down that you don't know are in play, and you get to score the points that are shown on that as well. And so each round you'll write down everyone's points and keep a cumulative score. I think the basic game is 350 points.
And it doesn't take long to get there if you're betting.
So
if you're not betting, it's going to take some time.
And so, yeah, that's pretty much the game. In a 3-player, you're going to, when one person goes out, you count and see who has the most cards in their hand. So if one person had 5 and the other person had 3, you'd remember, when I went out, the most cards that was in someone's hand was 5. So I'll get 25 points, and then those 2 play it out to see to see who goes out next, and then you add up all your scores.
But whoever went out first will get that Haggis pile.
And so that's the game. It's not thematic in any way. It's just a card game.
Just a card game.
So what do you think of Haggis?
I liked Haggis. It's a nice, again, we're camping, it's a nice game to take along. It gets fun when you start betting and throwing some shade at each other and fussing and that kind of stuff. So it's a fun game to play while you're camping.
I was surprised at how much I enjoyed playing it.
Because you had played it not too long ago with someone else.
Yeah, and I'd played it back when I first got it. This is a 2010 copy of the game, and it was okay. I've never been really good at. I've never really gotten into games like bridge and things like that. I played euchre when I was up in Ohio for a little bit, but never really got into the betting on your hand. You know, it's kind of, I'm more the type, like, you give me a hand of cards and I'll try my best to do what I can with it, but have to, like, look at it and evaluate and think, okay, I can win with this or I can't win with this. That's not really my thing. And so I really didn't think that I would enjoy that factor of the game, but that having that bet really puts the pressure on you. Especially like if I start falling behind, it's like, okay, I need to be able to catch up. So I'm going to bet 30, and now the pressure is on. Okay, how do I play out these bombs? How if I play out this jack as a wild, all I have left is the queen king to bomb with, and if I use the queen as a wild, then I don't have a bomb at all. All I have is
Well, unless
one
you
more
have
wild card. Unless I have the
odd
3,
numbers,
5,
yeah.
7, 9, but those are kind of hard to
Those
get.
are hard to come by.
So, and you got to keep in mind what other people have too. It's like, okay, do they have a bomb available? Have they used up all their cards? Do they only have one wild available?
And whoever's lowest or whoever's in last place as score wise gets to start the next round. So that's important too. So whoever starts really has the advantage as far as trying to keep winning the tricks and getting rid of as many cards as possible. Because if you're going first, you might be pretty confident in making that bet that you're going to be the first to empty your hand.
And I've found that you really have to give some thought as to what you want to play.
Yep.
Because there was like one game where I was going to like start, and I found that I had like the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's like, all right, that's huge. That's 5 cards coming out of my hand
out of your 14.
that I'm pretty sure she's not going to be able to follow. And I play that out, and then right after I played it out, I was like, I probably should have just made it a 6, 7, 8, 9 and kept that 10 because I had 2 10s in my hand, and having 3 10s is probably stronger than just throwing the 10 away for that.
Right.
Because odds are she might have to throw a wild or something to get the 4 run. But and so you've got to think, okay, just because I'm throwing out a bunch of cards, I don't want to throw out a bunch and ruin my chances of getting the other cards out of my hand.
Right.
And so there was quite a bit of decision making in this.
And you're learning as you go. The more you play it, the better your understanding is of the tricks and the best ways to play. Because again, if I place down 2 2s, he may place down 2 3s, and it comes back to me. I can either say, you got it, or let's say I have 2 10s. I can drop 2 10s. Well, he's not going to have anything higher than that unless he's using his wilds or bombs. So that's something to think about as well. So you have the option to keep going back and forth until somebody just says, it's yours, take it. So we've talked about our likes. Is there any dislikes?
I think the biggest dislike that I would have is that this is one that I would play while I'm camping. If I was at the house with a bigger table, I don't know that I would ever be like, hey, let's play Haggis. I'd want to play something else instead. And so this is in a.
I could see me playing this at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's not a bad game at all. So I don't have any dislikes to it.
Okay.
So let's bring your scores on, because it's getting way too hot.
Yeah, we had to turn the air conditioner off for recording.
So we're melting.
So 0 to 7 for the gameplay mechanics.
For what it is, it's a 7.
Yeah, I would say it's a 7.
I mean,
there's a lot of strategy in this little deck of cards.
Yep.
On how you want to play it out, and I don't know how you would improve it. It's nice to have the player aid with you to give you ideas, because every now and then I need to have a reminder that it's like, oh yeah, I can play a 7-8, 7-8, 7-8 kind of thing.
Or I can play just one card.
Or
I can play a 2. And then he would come back and you would just go back and forth until someone says, you can have it. And that's kind of strategic as well, because you don't want to keep playing a higher card and break up cards that you have in your hand that are possible runs or sequences that will help you later on. So again, like he said, we ended up playing a run of 6 cards, a sequence of 6 cards, and that's pretty big. That's almost half your deck. And so if they can't come back with that, usually, I mean, I've seen it, that if I play a run of 6 and he plays one and then I come back with another one, that's most unlikely. but it really gets rid of your cards. So you don't necessarily want to play singles in the beginning to kind of ruin your chances of making sequences later.
And there are times when, like, she might lead with 3 4s, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna let you take that. The even numbered cards aren't worth any points. It's not worth me giving a bomb to go that. It's like,
Right.
I'm gonna hold my bomb back because she might play something else that I want to bomb.
So yeah, that's one thing that I am learning as well, just fairly new to the game, is looking at the point values of the cards that have been played so far and saying, yep, it's okay, you can go ahead and take those. Because again, if there's maybe only 2 points in it, doesn't matter if you have it or not, especially if you've got a chance of playing some pretty good ones later.
Yeah, 'cause especially if you've did the big bet for 30 points, it's like, okay, I'll let you have those points because I don't want to give you the 30 points that I
Right.
bet.
All right, so we've given it a 7.
All right, so there's 0 to 3 for the wow factor.
A 2 maybe. Like, it depends on the situation, on the scenario. Like Norm said, camping, I'd say it's a 10. Take it along. It's going to be something that you can play in the evenings when your day activities are done. It's a lot of fun. A 10.
And
At
if
home,
somebody shows up, you can add a third player.
yep. If 2 people show up, you can't play the game. But for home, it's a 9. I'd play it if someone brought it. I would play it. I would suggest it. Am I going to play it all the time? No, but it's a nice game to just. I grew up playing cards with my family, so I enjoy card games. I would sometimes take a card game over a board game. So this is nostalgic for me. This is comfort for me just from growing up always playing them. So I'd give it a 10 camping, 9 for home.
See, I'm the opposite of you. I would give it a 1 because I enjoy playing it, but I'm more someone who enjoys having a theme. It's like I want to, even if it's just tacked on, I want some sort of theme other than you're just playing with a deck of cards. This can be played with a regular bicycle deck of cards, and that doesn't appeal to me that much. Really just gets the dock because I would rather play a game with some kind of theme. I don't care what the theme is. You make it space, you make it cowboys, you make it Cthulhu or whatever. Now that's more entertaining to me.
So an 8. You're giving it an 8.
I'm giving it an 8, which is still a good
That's a good score.
I'll play it whenever somebody wants to, and the score might bump up a little bit when I'm camping because it's such a small box that
Easy to take along.
you can just throw it in a drawer in the camper.
Even traveling, if you're flying anywhere and you have a layover, bring this along. It's something you can play. It doesn't take too long and it's enjoyable.
So, are we keeping Haggis?
Yeah, I'd say we're keeping Haggis.
I would say we're keeping Haggis, but like one of the things that is influencing me to say keeping this is, 1, we can take it camping, and 2, you're not going to get much on the secondhand market selling this game. I mean, it can be played with a regular deck of cards.
Right.
That's it. I don't know. It's probably like $15 or something new. So if you're selling it used, you're not going to get much out of it. Even trade value at a used bookstore, you're not going to get much out of it. And so that kind of weights it a little more in the keep it because there's more value in it here than trying to get rid of it. So I say keep it.
I say keep it because I would play it often. So there you have it.
There you go, Haggis.
This is our last random review.
Well, we got the Thunderstone and Thunderstone Quest review coming up. We'll do that when we come back from vacation.
Yeah, we didn't bring that.
So yeah, we didn't have the room for that.
Thankfully.
So anyways,
so, Haggis.
What do you think of Haggis?
Have you played it? I had never heard of it before.
So, do you guys know if this is a printed copy of an already existing card game that could be played with a regular deck of cards, because that's definitely what it feels like. Or is this a new design that somebody came up with a regular deck of cards and decided to print a copy that could be played with 3 people?
Make it Scottish. And again, why wouldn't you love it? It's Scottish.
Growing up in Canada, I had friends whose parents were immigrants from Scotland.
Have you tried haggis?
I have not tried haggis. I think they have, but yeah, I don't think I could.
Now, Scotland's on my wish list of places to visit, and haggis is on that list of things to try. So we'll have to go to Scotland and try haggis.
So all right,
The real
we'll bring this along so we can try it while we're there, and stay away from the food.
All right, we'll catch you next time. From the campground, we're out. Bye.
Bye.